This is news analysis coming to you live on Politics and Business Television Abuja. Good afternoon and many thanks for joining us on the program for today. I'm Fatima Abubakar Oyibo. The headlines. Wave of mass abduction sparks fear, 145 missing in 4 days. Army Chief orders swift rescue of abducted Kebbi schoolgirls. Nigeria welcomes repatriated Benin bronzes from the United States. And on the foreign scene, Hamas rejects UN resolution, says it falls short of Palestinian rights. Details of the stories and more to come shortly after the break. Do stay with us. Welcome back. And now the news in details. A chilling wave of mass abductions has gripped communities once again, with 145 people reported missing in just 4 days. Families are in anguish as entire neighborhoods live in fear, uncertain of who might be taken next. Authorities say the sudden surge in kidnapping marks one of the most alarming spikes in recent times, raising urgent questions about security lapses and the growing boldness of criminal groups. Security forces have launched intensified search operations, but residents remain skeptical as the crisis deepens. Human rights advocates are calling for the vulnerable regions, with the number of missing rising daily. The nation watches anxiously, hoping for decisive action to stem the tide of terror sweeping across communities. Meanwhile, Nigeria's Chief of Army Staff has directed troops to launch immediate rescue mission, underscores the Army's commitment to protecting citizens and restoring confidence in national security. Community leaders and parents are anxiously awaiting updates, while advocacy groups continue to press for stronger measures to safeguard schools against mission, underscores the Army's commitment to protecting citizens and restoring confidence in national security. Community ritual attacks. The unfolding operation has drawn nationwide attention, with hopes pinned on a swift and successful outcome. In another development, the federal government has officially received a collection of Benin bronzes repatriated from the United States, marking another milestone in the ongoing global effort to return looted cultural treasures. The artifacts, which were taken during the colonial era, arrived to a warm reception as officials hailed the development as a significant step towards restoring Nigeria's cultural heritage and identity. Speaking at the handover ceremony, government represented ownership while also strengthening diplomatic ties between both nations. And on the foreign scene, Hamas has strongly criticized a recent United Nations resolution declaring that it does not meet the rights and demands of the Palestinian people. The group argues that the resolution fails to address core issues such as sovereignty, the right of return, and an end to occupation, insisting that Palestinians deserve full recognition of their legitimate aspirations. The statement has re-tensions and paved the way for dialogue. Hamas maintains that only a comprehensive approach that guarantees justice and self-determination will be accepted. The development has drawn mixed reactions worldwide, with calls for renewed negotiations and stronger commitment to peace. And now for sport news, let's join our reporter.
morning and welcome to P&B Sports News. I'm Ayako Tom. Here are the latest headlines from the world of sports. South Africa won the 2025 Rugby African Women's Sevens after defeating Kenya in Sunday's final, securing qualifications for the 2026 HSBC Sevens Division 3. Uganda took bronze with a victory over Madagascar. In the NFF, following Nigeria's penalty shootout defeat to the Republic of Congo, Coach Chow claimed the Congo staff member was practicing voodoo throughout the shootout. He said the repeated motions made him uneasy, though he wasn't sure what exactly was used. CAF confirmed that 5-time Grammy winner Angelique Kidjo will host the 2025 CAF Awards on Wednesday in Rabat, Morocco. That's all for now on P&B Sports News. I'm Ayako Tom. Stay with us for more updates.
Welcome back. Welcome to our focus today in Politics and Business Television. Today we turn our attention to a heartbreaking crisis that continues to plague Nigeria. The repeated abduction of schoolgirls just yesterday in Maga in Dankuru-Wasogo local government area of Kebbi State. Another group of young girls was taken, adding to the long list of victims whose education and future have been violently disrupted. This is not an isolated tragedy. It is part of a disturbing pattern that raises urgent questions about government accountability and the fate of the much publicized Safe School initiative. Launched with promises of protecting students, the initiatives now appear to have faded into obscurity, leaving schools vulnerable and families devastated. So today we ask, why are our schools still unsafe? What happened to the promises of protection? And how has government failed to shield the most vulnerable, our children, from the grip of insecurity? Joining us live in the studio is Comrade Saliud Ntete Mahmood, Director of the Security Salute Nigeria Initiative, a respected activist and education rights advocate who has consistently spoken out against the failures of leadership in safeguarding Nigeria's future. Comrade Saliud, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Ajia Fati. It's my pleasure being here today.
It's my pleasure having you in the studio again with me.
Thank you very much.
Comrade, what is your reaction to the recent abduction of schoolgirls in Maga, Zuru area, and how does it reflect the broader insecurity crisis?
To every parent, it is disgusting, it is disheartening, then it calls for all action against these not state actors. This brings me to a speech I delivered during one of the graduation ceremony of students at unique schools in Kwara State, aftermath of one of the abductions by Dogogide boys in Yawuri area, local government area of Kebbi State, where I said, rather than police officers, civil defense officers, and other securities giving VIP protection to our politicians, MDs of school protection units in both civil defense and the police, till date, as I talk to you, if you go to remotest parts of Nigeria, you will find out that they are porous from the gate to hostels and to classes, nothing like civil defense, talk more of police and also of other things. So that brings you to the question of whether we have equality in protection, because constitutionally the security agencies are supposed to protect us equally. But what do you find? Some of these officers to all this Danko Wasogo local government and also of other areas. Lakurawa have been operating in Augi, Mera, and Arugungu areas. We have raised this issue for the need to establish permanent security structures. It happened in Gidang, Mantau, in Manufashi local government, where early morning Muslim worshippers were killed in the mosques were there to be Mopo squadrons, counter-terrorism squadrons, or those of the special forces, or even the army cantonment, or those of Air Force, it wouldn't have happened, because at the time it is happening, when there is that control room call, they will be able to condone the places. But you find that most of these areas are ungoverned areas, where, for example, you are traveling from Yauri to Ngaski to Gumbi to what do you call it, Wara and other areas. You hardly find 3 eloxes of the police, talk more of those of army. Before you reinforce, they might have gone. So I think it is high time the Inspector General of Police, because the police are custodians of internal security, they blame mothers. Let's not give it to the members of the armed forces. All these roles they are playing is complementing the efforts of the police. But the police that are custodians of internal security with larger specialized squads go against these non-state actors. When Abba Kyari, that was in prison, was in charge of IRT, he normally takes the battle to kidnappers and bandits in the bush. Today is no longer there. What do you now find them doing? Things that conventional police can do. I want to appeal to Mr. President, who himself was 8 years governor of Lagos State. I complimented the effort of the police in Lagos State to please properly equip the police. Police have the wherewithal, even though we know they also have shortage of manpower. But if they have some modern intelligence gathering gadgets, they have barracks, they have operational vehicles, and other things, they will be able to live up to expectation. Look at even the police mobile force. I'm glad that Mr. President spoke about the poor state of police training schools. Yes, it is true. We have all it takes in the police, even though with the shortage of manpower, but what is lacking is adequate funding. Today, the police that are supposed to be custodians of internal security are not having barracks. There are barracks in Gariki. They say they are developing. Even there are so AIGs and DIGs, their cantonments and quarters in Maitama has been given to developers. So also that of Falomo, Ikoyi, Lagos, and also other things. For you to make the police to take charge of internal security, you need to give proper training. You make sure they have barracks, welfare, operational vehicles, gadgets, and all sorts of other things. When these police go for peacekeeping operation, they get accolades. What is wrong at home? Members of the armed forces are getting it right, because from Buhari administration till date, they are getting it, particularly the army and the air force. Even though Operation Fansanyama is putting on its best in Northwest and most of others, but they are not getting to the remotest part of the area. Of recent, shamefully, from Mokwa to Kanji, where you have the largest dam. Some people were kidnapped around Ibi. Till date, some have not been rescued. So if you leave the boundary between Niger, Kebbi, Sokoto, Zamfara, Katsina, you are on your own, where you hardly find some of these security forces, except if these things happen, they reinforce. And before you get there, they've already gone. So I think the committees in both the 2 chambers of the National Assembly, that is the red chamber and the green chamber, must appropriate enough money for places to have security presence. If it is police outposts that will be better equipped, not this kind of local outposts where you can count the number of AK-47. What kind of weapon do Excellency Governor of Borno State said? Some of them, that is where we bring about the issue of international conspiracy. There are illegal gold mines in Zamfara, which is affecting Kebbi and Sokoto, because when they now illegally get this gold, what route do they follow? They follow the porous Kebbi, Sokoto, Niger, and Kwara borders. For example, today, you can see when they are escaping from Ngaski, for instance, they can come to Wara. From Wara, for you to get to Kanji, where you have the largest dam, through Awuru, it's not difficult. Then from there, Wawa, where this Mahmuda terrorist leader was arrested, that is Abba, 33-year-old from Daura. From Wawa is like transit camp, where in the night you see people going from Wawa, Agwara, Swashi, Babana. Babana has border with Benin Republic. Then when you go towards the left, you go to Kayama local government in Kwara North. From Kayama, you go to Kosobosu in Baruten local government area of Kwara State. Then from Kosobosu, there is a town called Dikidiru. From Dikidiru, you can get to Benin Republic. Then if you go towards the left, you can get to Okuta. From Okuta, you get to other areas. Then from there, you can get to Benin Republic. Then when you go towards the right, you can get to Yashikira. From Yashikira, Chikanda. Right from Chikanda, you can get to Nikin Benin Republic. This is how porous it is. When the immigration officers, border police, the army, DSS at the border area are there at the legal entry and exit point, it is the bush part of government. Then when you go to Babana in Niger government, then when you go to Babana in Niger State, to the same thing. When you go to Rijau, Kontangora, go to Yauri, they are porous too. So you not get from Kebi to Maradi under Ilela.
Yes.
Ilela borders Niger Republic.
Yes.
They are very porous. When you go there, you don't even find sophisticated mobile police. Talk more of say ambiguous brigade of the Nigerian army. Then in the civil service, we have who you call agro rangers. The essence of agro rangers in Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps is to go and guard the forest. But today, they are attached as orderlies to local government chairmen, ministers, and which ought not to be. So there is misplaced priority. In the Nigerian police, we have special forces. You see them wearing overall black. This is the time for the special forces to be posted by Inspector General of Police to these remotest areas of Kebbi, Sokoto, Zamfara, Kwara, Niger, and also further, because it is no longer Bello Turji alone. It is no longer Dogo Kide alone. It is now Lakurawa. And some of them don't even know how to speak our indigenous Fulani. Of recent, the Lakurawa we are seen moving between Auna and Ibeto. And we alerted inhabitants, and they displayed and discharged their ownership involvement responsibility. What is the ownership involvement responsibility? Most of the intelligence report were given to security agencies, and Operation Fansanyama, their air component group, went and carried out onslaught, and they succeeded. Operation Fansanyama, combined with Air Force, Army, Police, and others, are doing a lot, but manpower is not there. Then the finances, then their welfare. Sometimes where these security agencies use as camps is very, very pitiable. The environment is not that clean, then it's abandoned schools and host of others. With the huge defense budgets, where are this money going to? Police, even though we know there are skeletal corruption, but we are there to be adequately funded by now. Police should, as well as other squadrons in. For the waterways, you have the marine police. It was when we shouted, the Inspector General Kayode Ekpetokun posted marine police to Baga, Itato, the naval base that was there. They were using it for only fish business. But today, the combined effort between the Nigerian Navy and the marine police in the northeast in Baga is gathering momentum. Kanji is waterway. What stops Nigerian inland waterways? Nigerian Navy, marine police to carry out joint patrol, even though Nigeria inland waterways only control the waterways, but the combat operation lies with the Navy as well as the marine police. But today, shamefully, you go to Kanji area, Wawa area, where is waterway up to Kebi, it moves up to Argungu. You cannot find Navy there. You can't find marine police there. What are they doing in the headquarters? What are they doing in the city center? The only areas you can find them, like the marine police, is Lagos, Port Harcourt, Calabar, riverine areas, moving in Bodara, certain areas from Wara, Yawuri, where you can use motor vehicle. You use canoe. And the presence of forces that man the maritime waters are not there. Is it that the lives of these people don't matter? If you go to the remotest part of Calabar, Bayelsa, Rivers, Akwa Ibom, you see the presence of Nigerian Navy and Marine Police. So is it to say that water areas and maritime waters of the north are not important to be manned? Even this boat mishap we've been having, we've advocated for NIWA to enforce certain movements and other things. Sometimes people fall prey, where you even see these non-state actors capitalizing on movement of canoes in the night to ambush them and kidnap at will. So it is high time Nigerian Navy and Marine Police show their presence in Niger, Kebbi, and Sokoto, where there are waterways, because people in this area are the receiving end. Look at Yawuri, it was done. Now it is done in part of Kebbi, where even a vice principal was killed. Then again, there is the need to enhance intelligence gathering. You don't just show your best crop of intelligence officers with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu when he's to move to airport or is to make foreign troop. No, you should extend this to nooks and crannies of where you have insurgency and banditry. When you see DSS in local governments, you can count their numbers. Some of them don't even have operational vehicles. And they are well trained. They don't have the gadgets. Even offices are not there. I can give you an example of civil defense. Go to Kanji, where you have the largest dam. If you go to Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Office, you will laugh. One day I saw the man that is in charge of Kanji division, and the Elox vehicle of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense was doing like this. All the tires were worn out, that if you subject it to roadworthiness by VIO, they will mark it fail. So civil defense should not only concentrate in Federal Capital Territory. When you go to civil defense is under Ministry of Interior. The Minister of Interior must liaise with the Senate Committee on Interior as well as House Committee to make enough budgetary allocation for civil defense, because they have the wherewithal. It is not to guard only critical infrastructures. If they have armed squad, they have agro rangers and others, they should be able to live up to constitutional responsibility by being given operational vehicles, offices, gadgets, and others like their sister security agencies. The DSS, their intelligence arm, NIA too. NIA, even though their jobs are foreign, the NIA too should be equipped, because there are porous borders. Most of these lakuras are getting advantage of our porous bush parts, where we have borders with Benin Republic, Cameroon, Niger, Chad, and other countries. If the NIA are also adequately funded, they will be able to live up to tax by gathering the intelligence they are supposed to gather in our border areas, because they cut across international between Nigeria and other countries.
You've said a lot. You've said so much in just one question, and in fact you've encompassed everything into one answer. But the Safe School Initiative was designed to protect students. What went wrong? What do you think went wrong, and why has it failed to deliver? I know for a fact you mentioned something that even from the gates of the schools you realize that it's porous. That's one, and then down to the classroom. These days we even see that there are some public schools, most public schools, especially in remote areas and our villages that we have, you see that the fence have been chopped off, the gate is hanging, about to fall, and so many things like that. There's no adequate security, nothing, and that's why cases of poisoning, cases of, even before the time of banditry and insurgency, there have been cases of kidnapping and so many other atrocities that has been committed in Nigerian public schools. So what is this Safe School Initiative? What is what is it even designed to do? Is it just to say it and say, okay, this is we have a Safe School Initiative, because we're not even seeing the job of a Safe School Initiative. So what went wrong, and why has it failed to deliver?
You see, I will go by late Hausa musician Mama Shata Gagarabado. That is something surprising. Then I'll go by music of late Fuji creator, late Dr. Security Barrister, where it's Oibo Ilokoji. What is the meaning? Our English is too much. We are too theoretical than practical. All this English, you see them say safe school and water, ties voters. Because when they come with policy statements, your nerves will be cold. But in practical terms, no. I'll give you an example of Zampara. I disguised travel by road, not commercial vehicle. I drove myself. I risked it because I prayed. From Funtua till I got to Sahe. I passed Sheme before I got to other things. I can tell you I couldn't find serious security checking points. Then, from Tsahe, Kotorokoshi to Gusau, same thing. Up to Bungudu, Maru, Talata, Mahara, till I got to Sokoto. In fact, if you are well dressed and you are alone, you even have advantage. Maybe in some of the places where you find the army or police, when you greet them first, they will say, let's open your boot. They will abandon, then at the end of the day, you go. Sometimes the people they subject to rigorous checking is this kind of commercial vehicles. Maybe when they find Sienna, or they find these vehicles, they use Golf and also for other things. Even when they load, they might sometimes say, bring everything down. Therefore, those that can settle that have been used to them, they will just give something and they'll go. So the issues are supervision is lacking. So safe schools and what have you, I have not seen it yet. And if anyone in Ministry of Education, if anyone in the security circle, even in Abuja here, go to Kuje, go to Buari, go to Dobi village, go to Nyanya, go to Anagada, go to Orozo, go to Karshi, go to Rubochi, go to Abaji, go to Gorgoda. go to Yanche, go to Pai, go to Ashara. In schools, both primary and secondary, you will not find one single civil defense, talk more of police, talk more of army. So what safe schools are we talking about? Borno State, the same thing. Go to around Baga, Metele, Mafa, Bama, even though with the insurgency there. So it is when maybe one VIP wants to visit, they will just do packaging and arrange. Call the commandant of civil defense, commissioner of police, or commanding officer, post some military officers, police, in order for the Oga to see. After the Oga leaves, they take them away and you live to your fate. So I want this submission I'm making for the IG to pay unscheduled visits to most of the schools in Northwest, North Central, Northeast, as well as the Chief of Army Staff, Chief of Air Staff, DG DSS, DG NIA, as well as Commandant General of Nigerian Security and Civil Defense. Because when you are talking about internet security, they come first before you talk about others like immigration, correctional service, and host of others. In Abuja here, in 2011, by Asokoro Bridge, in 911, fleeing Boko Haram insurgents were in a vehicle. The vigilance of VIO are residual creation, one will say residual, powers of the state governors and state. They stopped the vehicle. The Boko Haram insurgents were trying to bribe the Eagle Eye officer. He refused. He called his area commander and they took the 911 into custody and called the OC military police in Mogadishu barracks there. That is VIO that doesn't have gun in Abuja here. The same VIO, somebody went to court and said because they impounded his vehicle, even though everybody has his fundamental right, they are no longer checking. I want to tell you, in security, you don't only say for people that bear arms, even road safety that don't bear arms and VIO, they also have roles to play and fire service. So I think in this vein, in states like that, let the governors revitalize their vehicle inspection officers. This checking they do on documents on the way sometimes helps, because when they are doing it and they find something suspicious, immediately they'll go by the side, call the police, call the army and others, because the people that are combat driven cannot do it alone. So I just gave you an example of the vehicle inspection officers in Abuja, Asokoro area command. So in this time, let there be collective responsibility. Even the vigilantes, look at now in areas, vigilantes play a role, civilian joint task force and what have you. At the advent of Boko Haram insurgency in Borno, the able-bodied young men came, indigenous ones. They formed CJTF, Civilian Joint Task Force. They knew the terrain and they assisted the army. So the issues are at this time in Kebbi, Sokoto, Katsina, Niger, Kwara. Let it be all inclusive, including their vigilantes, local hunters. Thank God the president has consented to this forest guards. Beyond that, let all ends be on deck, because in intelligence gathering, it is not when you are regimented or maybe we are not at all. There are other people you underrate sometimes. They could see or hear certain intelligence information they could give to you.
Well, in your view, has the government truly prioritized the safety of children, school children, or has it abandoned them to insecurity?
They have abandoned them to their fate. It happened in Kaduna under Giwa local government also, where they went to primary school. If you can reflect and recall what happened. Till date, most schools in Kaduna, from Jere to Kagarko to Zangun Kataf to Kafancha, are not protected. Therefore, citizens, not even schools, have been left to their fate, where sometimes if you are traveling, you are just on your own, just because the police that are custodians of internal security have used more than half of their officers and personnel to protect certain people that are not even deserving. What do you do of giving escort to private businessmen just because they give return to your boss? So I think the IG should live up to his promise by withdrawing police officers that are escorting or guarding people that are not backed by the Constitution. Today, if you go to National Assembly, you see reps, members, or senators that are not even principal officers going with routine of police officers. For what reason? When we don't have them in remote areas where life of innocent Nigerians matters.
Comrade Saliu, this discussion would, if we want to take it, it would take the whole day, because it's something that has been eating deep. It's like a cancerous worm that has eaten deep, not even been, that has eaten deep into the Nigerian security system. The system is so porous, it's so dilapidated. It's and the lackadaisical attitude on the part of the Nigerian government is worsening the situation, and it's making it something that people can't even explain anymore. Because just a few days ago, a video has been making the rounds. Not even the video, even this morning, many people have been watching it in Kankia local government of Katsina State. There are some bandits, some people have made videos of bandits that are migrating through the local government. So it's a topic that we can go on and on and on, and I do hope that when I come calling, you come to us for this discussion,
inshallah, for the interest of the country, because this is the sacrifice we have to make.
Thank you very much.
To build our country, because without security we can't have foreign investors come, we can't have education, we can't have infrastructure, power stability, as well as job employment generation, and also others.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Comrade Salihud and Tata Mahmoud, for joining us and sharing your insight. Well, the abduction of schoolgirls is not just a crime against families, it's a crime against the nation's future. If our children cannot learn in safety, then our hopes for progress are already compromised. True protection cannot come from slogans or abandoned initiatives. It requires sustained investment, accountability, and the political will to prioritize education over empty promises. We cannot allow insecurity to rob our daughters of their dreams. The moment we accept this as a normal, we surrender the future of Nigeria itself. This has been our focus today on Politics and Business Television. Thank you for watching, and remember, when schools are unsafe, the nation's future is at risk. And that wraps up today's program, but before we go, the headlines again. Wave of mass abduction sparks fear, 145 missing in 4 days. Army chief orders swift rescue of abducted Kebbi schoolgirls. Nigeria welcomes repatriated Benin bronzes from the United States. And on the foreign scene, you heard that Hamas rejects UN resolution, says it falls short of Palestinian rights. For more updates and in-depth analysis, follow Politics and Business TV.English on YouTube and Facebook. Connect with us on Instagram at PMBTV_English and TikTok and X at PMBTV_ENG. Remember to subscribe and stay informed. From me, Fatima Abubakar Oyibo, it's bye for now.